Welcome back to A Better Choice Homestead, where on my channel I focus on food, growing it, preparing it, and preserving it. Today is Friday, and that means we are doing an edition of Freeze Dry Friday. Today I'm going to be playing with my food mill because I need to get some more tomatoes processed. I recently showed a video where I took all of my tomatoes out of the freezer and I got them thawed, and I said I was going to start cooking them down, but then I decided not to. I have so many tomato products still on my pantry shelf that I just want to freeze dry it into a plain, beautiful sauce. So that's what we're going to do. So a food mill comes with different size holes in a grate. And as you put the tomatoes in, the flesh is forced through the holes, but the seeds and the skins will stay. And so I'm going to use my medium one for this. I can set these ones aside. And this is going to go in like this, so where it's convex. And then there's little three little divot areas in here that these three kind of lifted up edges go into. And then we get the handle and we put this in the center of the disc, and then we just get everything aligned. We have a bar that I'm going to push down on. It has holes on either end to fit underneath these clips. And now we're locked in, and as we spin this, it'll force the tomatoes into the bottom. I have pre-portioned my tomatoes, and I'm going to do 2 bags today, about half per tray. And these were roasted in the oven at 350 degrees for about 40 or 45 minutes until they got really fragrant and they started to get a little bit crispy on the edges. And then I immediately put them into bags and froze them. That ends up saving a lot of space in the freezer if you roast them down first. And then when I took them out, I actually let them drain into a colander so that a lot of the water was removed, which helps significantly speed this process up and gets less water on your freeze dryer trays that has to be sublimated out during the freeze drying process. I have a bowl here where I'm going to put those seeds and skins, and the pulp is going to fall into a lower bowl. And as that bowl fills up, I will start filling trays. But we're going to kind of speed through this because it's going to take a minute. Now, a food mill is not hard to use, and what that does is remove the skins and the seeds. And a lot of times I have opted to keep the skin and the seeds on and to just blend everything in a high-powered blender. I have a Vitamix, but honestly, it leaves a little bit of a bitter tannin taste when you do that, in my opinion. So this year I have decided I'm not making sauce. I'm not going to blend everything down and skip this step. I'm going to actually get just the pulp and leave the skins and the seeds aside. And normally I would save those and dehydrate those, but I have so much of that, I'm not even going to do that. I'm glad I'm finally able to get these processed from the 2025 garden. We are already March of 2026, which is crazy. But life has just been throwing so many curveballs. Has that happened to you? Have you ever had a time in your life where you just couldn't catch a break and everything just became so overwhelming and time consuming, and it was all you could do just to go from one thing to the next? So I'm certainly glad that things have quieted down a little bit and I can get these done. pretty messy over here. We still have a bit more tomato to get through, but this is getting a little out of control with this mess. So I think we're gonna have just enough in these 2 bags to fill all 4 trays. And because this is liquid, it is pulp, but you know, it's fluidy. I'm not filling the trays all the way up. They're gonna kind of puff as they dry. And I certainly don't wanna spill them getting them into the freeze dryer because I can't pre-freeze anytime soon because my freezers are full. So this is what I'm comfortable with from a fill line perspective. So about halfway up the tray. Almost there. This is a messy job, but so well worth it. Though it would be nice to have an electric mill to make quick work of this. That is a lot of skins and seeds. And while it is messy, it's easy cleanup too. So this is the last of it. We're gonna get right to where I want to be on this tray, I think. And then we're gonna go over, and we're gonna set the freeze dryer. I think, it should be set the way I want it because the last batch I did was also tomatoes. And then we're gonna get to freeze drying these once the initial warm up of the machine finishes. But we have some beautiful tomato sauce for the freeze dryer. All right, let's get the machine customized. And the settings should be the same as they were last time. We've got -10 initial freeze, 5 extra hours of freeze time since these are going in just refrigerator cold, even room temp at this point, because that just took 45 minutes to do. I've got dry mode at normal, dry temp down to 115. That's my preference because there are some seeds that did slip through, that always slip through, and I don't want to heat them up too much and really develop that tannin bitter flavor in them. And then extra dry time of 15 hours. Now this is going to be a longer load. It's probably going to be 40 to 50 hours in all. That just is what it is since I can't pre-freeze right now. So we're going to go ahead and save this and then press start. And then we just need 15 minutes while the chamber cools down, and then we'll get those loaded and we'll start freeze drying. And we can go ahead and load the trays now. Tray 1, I know it's hard to see with the sun coming in as it is right now. Tray 2. 3. And 4. And then we just need to close the drain valve and press continue. And then I will see you back when these are done in a couple of days. We are 47.5 hours in with 2 hours and 11 minutes left. However, this was going to finish in the middle of the workday, so I put 7 extra hours on here. It's going to be about 42 hours in all for this batch. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the time and open the drain valve. And let's see what we have. There's quite a bit of ice in here, but not as much as I would expect. It's got some thickness to it, but not too bad. Let's see how the trays look. Definitely look dry. And they definitely sound dry. So let's get these into the kitchen and we'll get them packaged up. I'm sure you can see the color variation in here. That is because I used different types of tomatoes from the garden. I used red, I used yellow, and I used some kind of orangey tomatoes. So all different colors going on in here. But this is going to taste fantastic, especially because they were roasted first. I love when you freeze dry flat food because you can carry all the trays at once. Now I'm going to try to fit these into 2 jars because I am running really low on jars at this point. But I also have a couple of bags here just in case. I'm really excited about being able to turn this into all sorts of different products. This can be used, of course, for tomato sauce, just adding a little bit of water at a time until you get the consistency that you want. I didn't add anything to these tomatoes, so I could add seasonings, I could add salt, whatever I wanted. These can be used for tomato paste as well. It can also be used as a thickening agent. It can be used to flavor breads, homemade breads, or pizza crust. Ooh, you know what else I really like this tomato powder on? Popcorn. It is a really healthy and delicious topping for popcorn. Or zucchini chips if you make those. It's also good on those. Freeze-dried zucchini chips, of course, is what I mean. So many different uses for this. I don't normally freeze dry the tomatoes, but I think I mentioned last year just kind of got away from me. And then it was just a mad dash to get everything processed before I had to defrost, take things out of the freezer for the meat order. And I am wearing an apron because this is very messy. I'm wearing black. We are having the celebration of life for my aunt and uncle today here in just a little bit. I think I mentioned that my aunt had passed away, and just a few days, just under a week after that, her husband, my uncle, passed away as well. So today is the celebration of life, and that's why I'm wearing all black and trying not to get my clothes dirty, because as soon as I'm done with this, I have to go. This is working well. I could have used a rolling pin. This I just had handy. And these bench scraper tools are so helpful with freeze drying. Then I can move on to something else. I think I really want to get the lard and tallow processed so I can have my freezer shelf back somewhere to put these trays to pre-freeze. I love this color. I mean, it's not a vibrant red, but it is a pretty almost sunset color, and it's so crunchy. And because they were roasted before going into the freezer, they're going to bring that umami flavor in. I'm super excited about this. Probably would have been faster to put this in a blender, even on low speed, but this is what we chose, so this is where we are. And it is messy on the hands, that's for sure. I'm going to just do the last tray in bags, because I definitely can't fit a whole tray in what's left in this jar. And I'll keep these out on the counter just to make sure that they stay free-flowing to ensure that they're dry. I'm not going to powder these down. I'm going to leave them in squares and just put them into the bag. They probably will squish down a bit, but I mean, they're just so brittle and dry with fantastic color. I can even take this to work and make tomato soup on the go. Yep, I'm gonna squish these down because otherwise I want to fit half the tray in one bag. So I'm gonna have to squish. That was much faster than the way I was doing it. I'm gonna put an oxygen absorber in, and then I'll close it and then we'll squish it just a little bit more. Try to get all the air out before I final seal it. So now that's ready for a heat seal. One more. Oxygen absorber. Push as much air out as I can. Easy cleanup. Now we just need some labels on the bags. I'm just going to call this freeze-dried tomato powder. And I'm going to say that it is 2026, but in parentheses, maybe I'll put 2025 because that's when I grew these. And I thought of another really good use case for these, a compound butter. Can you imagine mixing some of this tomato powder with some basil, maybe a little bit of garlic powder, and having that on some warm bread for dinner? I think that that would be phenomenal. And I'm going to label the jars. So we have roughly 2 quarts of tomato powder here and 2 pints or so of tomato powder here. And I'm going to put a double seal on this. If you had the desiccants, that would be a good thing to put in here as well. Tomato powder it soaks up the humidity fairly easily. So if you have a desiccant, go ahead and throw it in your bag or your jar. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Freeze Dry Friday, where I am finally getting to my 2025 tomatoes in March of 2026. My name is Kelly. You're at A Better Choice Homestead, and I do hope you come back and visit again soon.